Alright, you guys, we're going to pause for just a second for a quick intro. My name is Gayla. This is I Knead Your Body TV. This is actually a recording from a live class that I taught this morning, so we're just going to jump right into it. So you're going to reach both of your arms all the way up. You're going to take your right hand, grab your left wrist, and you're going to bend up and over and to the right. You're going to slowly come back to center. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Your left hand grabbed your right wrist, and then you're going to lean up and over into the left. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. You're going to come back to the center and relax the arms all the way down into the sides. Then we're going to take our fingers and interlock them behind our back. Slide those arms all the way down. You're going to puff out your chest. You're going to take a big forward fold all the way over. Go ahead and lift those arms up off the back. You're going to slowly release those arms. Bring them all the way back down to the mat. You're still in your forward fold. Add any extra movements that you need to. Then you're going to slowly roll up, making sure that your head is the last thing that comes to the top. Kind of shake everything out. Here I'm just turning around, going back to the top of my mat. And I was just letting you guys know either side works. I am facing my door because I have my door open. I like to be facing the sun and all that good stuff. So we're going to start with some baby sun salutations. You're going to reach your arms all the way up. Get a good lean back. Not too much. Go ahead and forward fold all the way over. You're going to come up into a half lift. And then we're going to bend and sweep and come all the way back up. And add another back bend. Forward fold all the way over. Back up to a half lift. Bend and sweep again. Again, a little back bend. Another forward fold. Half lift. Bend and sweep. I believe we have two more of these. The heart center. Go ahead and shake it out a little bit. Step those feet out. We're going to take that bend and sweep again. And that small little back bend at the top. And forward fold all the way over. Up into a half lift. This time we're going to plant our hands. We're going to step our feet back one at a time. So we're going to be in a high plank. Here I give you two options. So you can either drop your knees down to the mat and lower it from there. Or you can go from your high plank and lower all the way down, which is what I did on the second option. Go ahead and flatten your feet. Up into up dog. On the second round, I believe I'm going to show you cobra. Go ahead and tuck the toes under, bring the hips up and back. And this is our first down dog. So we're going to take a little time here to kind of walk our feet out. Nice and easy. Take your time. Warm up your calves. You don't want to press too much. Up onto your tippy toes, soften your knees a little bit, and then just walk the feet all the way back up to the top of the mat. Take that forward fold and a half lift, and then we're going to go for a bend and sweep all way up. Small little back bend. Nice forward fold all the way over. Half lift. Go ahead and come back down, plant those hands, step the feet back one at a time. Again, you can drop your knees here and lower down, or you can just lower all the way down from your plank. So here I chose Cobra, just giving you another option. Go ahead and tuck your toes under, hips come up and back, so we're in down dog again. Still adding a little bit of extra movements. This is only our second one. Pedaling those feet out a little bit, moving the hips around side to side. And whenever you're ready, you're going to come up on those tippy toes. Again, soften those knees and step all the way back up to the top of the mat. Nice forward fold, half lift, bend and sweep. Taking those arms all the way up and bringing them down to heart center. So we're going to go ahead and take that again, a big stretch up, lean it all the way back, forward fold. We have our half lift. Go ahead and plant the hands. This time we're going to jump back. So plant the hands, soften the knees, go ahead and jump it back. And we lower down slow, same as before, flatten those feet. Here I just took a few extra breaths. Tuck the toes under, hips up and back, so we're in that down dog again. And we are going to jump it forward, so I'm up on my tippy toes, bend my knees, then we're going to jump back to the top of the mat. Nice forward fold, half lift, and then bend and sweep. Taking the arms all the way up, and then bringing them down to heart center. Go ahead and reach it up again, small back bend, forward fold, half lift. Go ahead and plant those hands, jumping back for the second time, lower down slow, flatten the feet, press it up. Tucking the toes, hips up and back, surrender down dog. Up on those tippy toes, bend the knees, jump back to the top of the mat, forward fold, half lift, bend and sweep, reaching the arms all the way up and bringing them back to heart center. Again, just taking a little bit of time, catch your breath, kind of shaking everything out. And I believe I had to step off screen for a hot second, just checking in with the participants that were watching. We are back to the mat, and so we're going to take it down again. So we're going to add chair pose, and here I was just explaining some of the do's and don'ts. So you want to make sure that you're pressing everything into the center. You want to make sure that you're sitting back butt first, and you do not want your knees to go past your toes. So that's all I was explaining. They were already in the chair pose, so I went back to the top of my mat, did a quick chair, and then go ahead and fold over up to my half lift. Go ahead and plant the hands and step it back. And lower down slow, flatten the feet, and then press it up. Tuck the toes under, hips up and back. So we are in our down dog, and we're actually going to take our right leg and stretch it all the way up, and then we're going to swing it through and go up to the hands. We're in a low lunge, then we're going to lift up into crescent. You're going to come back down, plant the hands back to the mat, bring that right foot back. So you're in a plank, you lower down slow, flatten the feet, we press it up. Tuck the toes under, hips come up and back. We're in a down dog. So then we're just going to do the other side. So this is the left leg coming all the way up. Swing it through and up to the hands. Plant that foot. You lift it up. For Crescent, just a quick breath. Bring the hands back down to the mat. Left foot comes back. Lower down slow. Flatten the feet. Press it up. Tuck the toes under, hips up and back. And we're in that down dog again. We're going to come up on our tippy toes. Bend our knees. And you can either hop or, as I did here, just stepped it forward. And again, we're back at the top of the mat. Good forward fold. And we're in that chair again. Sit it back just for a hot second. Stand it up and then bring the arms to heart center. Again, just taking a quick breath or two. Few deep inhales and exhales. Relaxing the arms out to the side. Kind of shake it out a little bit. Extra breaths, still breathing. Now sweep the arms all the way up, and then we're going to sit back into that chair pose. Forward fold all the way over, up to our half lift. Planting those hands, and we're going to step it back 1 foot at a time. Lower down slow. Flatten the feet and then press it up. So we're just going for another round. The same thing that we just did. Tuck the toes under, hips up and back. We're in down dog. We're on that right side. So lift that right leg all the way up. Swing it through up to the hand. So we have that low lunge. Gonna bring those arms all the way up. And then right back down to the mat. Right leg meets the left. And then we're going to lower down slow, flatten the feet, press up. Tuck the toes under, hips come up and back. Back to down dog, left leg stretches all the way up. Swing it through, up to the hands. You have your low lunge, crescent lunge. Bring those hands back down to the mat. Left leg comes back. Lower down slow, flatten the feet, press it up. Moving a little bit faster. Hips come up and back. We're in our down dog. Up on those tippy toes, soften those knees, and then walk it all the way back up to the top of the mat. So that round was a little bit faster. We are back at the top of the mat in our forward fold, and here I'm just going to hang out for a second and take a few deep breaths. Go ahead and come up to your half lift. We're going to bend and sweep, reach the arms all the way up, and then bring them back to heart center. Go ahead and take a couple of breaths here. Relax the arms down to the side. A few more breaths. All the way up and bring our hands to heart center. And this time we're going to start with our right leg. You're going to bend your knee and bring it all the way up until that knee is parallel with the floor. Then you're going to slowly reach that right leg back, and then you're going to go straight into a lunge. Hands are still at heart center, and we're going to reach all the way up. And we're going to come into warrior 2. And you want to make sure your alignment is correct. So here I'm just explaining that front knee. You want to make sure it doesn't go too far past that ankle. And you want to make sure that that back leg is straight. And you also want to be stacked. So you want to make sure that you're not leaning too much to the front. You're not leaning too much to the back. You want to kind of stay centered. And you want to stretch those arms all the way out. Kind of even with your shoulders, and then your gaze is going to be over those front fingers. If you want, you can always scoot that back foot out a little bit and then take that lunge a little bit lower, but that's totally up to you. We're going to turn it all the way back to the front of the mat, step it back up, and then do a nice forward fold. Then we're going to roll it up to our half lift, and then bend and sweep the arms all the way up, and then bring them down to heart center. So before we go into the other side, we're just going to take a little bit of time here to kind of catch our breath, get in some good deep inhales and exhales. Relaxing the arms down to the sides. Take a big reach up, bring the hands to heart center, and then we're just going to do the same exact thing on the other side. So you're going to bring that left leg up into that thighs parallel with the floor, and then slowly reach that left foot all the way back, plant it down on the mat. You're in a low lunge. Sweep the arms all the way up. To your warrior two on this side, making sure you do your checks. So make sure that knee is not too far past the ankle, that back leg is straight, make sure you're stacked through the center. Go ahead and reach those arms all the way out. Again, the gaze is over the front fingers. Take a few breaths here. Again, if you want to slide that back foot back and take the lunge a little bit lower, you sure can. We're going to turn everything back to the front of the mat, step that left leg all the way back up, and forward fold all the way over. Taking a few extra breaths here. Coming up into a half lift. Sweeping the arms all the way up. And bringing them back down to heart center. Super, super important to take that time to breathe. Sometimes when we're moving, we forget. So we definitely want to take some time to get in some good inhales and exhales. Relaxing the arms down to the side. A few more breaths. So again, I had to walk off just to check in with my viewers. And then we brought it back to the mat. And here I'm just explaining that we're going to run through another standing sequence before we take it all the way down into the mat. So we're just going to do a bend and sweep. Go ahead and take that small little back bend right into a forward fold, up into a half lift. Go ahead and come back down, plant the hands. Again, you can step it back or jump it back, either one. Lower down slow, flatten the feet, press it up. Tuck the toes, take the hips up and back. We're in our down dog again. We're going to take that right leg all the way up, swing it through, up to the hands. We're in that lunge. Go ahead and swing the arms all the way up. We're going into our warrior two. We just did that one. Flipping the front palm, you're going to lean it forward, and then you're going to reverse. So this is the reverse for warrior two. Then you're going to come back to the center, straighten that front leg, and then you're going to tip it over and reach that arm. You can go straight up, or you can kind of lean it more towards the door, in my case, either one. Then go ahead and bend the front knee again, swing that arm and the back foot, come back to the top of the mat in a forward fold all the way over, up to a half lift. Gonna bend way. Flatten your feet. Press it up, then tuck the toes, hips up and back. Down dog. Going into the left side here, so swing that leg all the way up. And take it through, up to the hands. Crescent lunge. Warrior 2. Flipping the front palm. Reach and reverse. Come back to center. Straighten that front leg. Kick that hip out. Tip it over. So here I went more straight up with the arm. Go ahead and bring it back to center. Put that bend back in that front knee. So warrior 2. Swing it back to the front of the mat. Go ahead and bring the hands back down to the mat. Lower. Flatten the feet. Press it up. This time we are going to shift back, and about halfway through, we're going to take the knees out wide, bring our big toes together, and we're going to sit it back for a child's pose. Stretch those arms all the way out. Here I want us to take it a little bit deeper, so I just set up just a little bit and I took my knees out a little bit wider so I can sink down a little bit more, stretch those arms all the way out. And still in our child's pose, we're going to do a little side stretch. So we're going to walk the hands over towards the right side of our mats, but you want to make sure you keep your chest low. You should be able to feel this stretch down the left side body. So we are stretching to the right, we're walking our hands over to the right, but we feel the actual stretch on the left side, if that makes sense. Alright, so we're just going to do the same thing on the other side. Walk the hands over to the left. Keep the belly low. And here comes Coco. Again, the stretch is on the opposite side. So we walked over to the left, but you should feel it on the right. Then I just came back to center, stretching the arms all the way out one more time towards the front of the mat. A few more breaths. And we are going to slowly walk those hands back up, roll it up slow, and it felt really good, so I just took a couple of moments here. Always do what feels good, guys. Always, always, always. Then we're just going to transition to seated, and then we're going to stretch both legs out in front. So legs are just straight out in front, and we're going to do some forward folds. So we're just going to stretch our arms all the way up and then fold all the way over. So for this, you want to try to keep your legs as straight as possible. Kind of press those legs into the floor. If the knees buckle or bend, it's okay, but you want to try to get the most stretch that you can. So if it doesn't hurt, if it doesn't feel too bad, then go ahead and try to press those knees down, press those legs down into the mat. Then we just roll it up slow, and we're going to go for another one. So go ahead and reach the arms all the way up. Take another forward fold all the way over. And slowly release and roll all the way up. And then roll extra movements that you want to add here, like rotating your ankles, point and flex your toes. You can do any of that, whatever feels good. We're going to open our arms up to a T. So that means just take the arm straight out to the side, no higher than shoulder. And then we're going to keep the knees tucked, but we're going to drop both knees down and to the right. Now, this is not a rollover type of move. So you want to make sure that you're only twisting the bottom half of your body. So that top half, you want to make sure your shoulders stay down and on the mat. And again, just twisting the lower half. So just moving those knees from side to side. So we're bringing them back to the center, and then we're going to drop them down and to the left. Shoulders are still down and on the mat. Slowly bring those knees back to the center and hug them in. Add a little rock side to side if that feels good. You can add the rotating ankles, point and flexing the toes, whatever works. And you're going to bring the feet down to the mat, and then you're going to take them out wide. We're going to do a couple of bridges. So relax the arms out to the side. Planted your feet. My palms are facing down towards the floor, and I'm going to use those to kind of press into the floor and then help me lift my pelvis all the way up. So feet are wide, palms are facing down, and we're just going to lift our pelvis all the way up towards the ceiling. Press it as high as you can get it, and then you're going to give your glutes a good squeeze. So squeeze super, super tight. And then you're going to roll down, but you're going to roll down from the top to the bottom. So think about starting from your head and then rolling all the way down until your lower back is the last thing that touches the mat. So we're just going to do a couple more of those. And again, feet should still be wide. My palms are facing the floor, and I'm going to press into the floor, lift my pelvis all the way up, give a good squeeze to the glutes. And then I'm going to roll it down slow, nice and easy. You want the lower back to be the last thing that touches the mat. And then we are going to go for one more. Go ahead and lift that pelvis all the way up. Take it as high as you can get it. Make sure you give the glutes a good squeeze. And then roll it down slow until we're all the way down and back on the mat. So here I'm going to take my feet out just a little bit wider, and then I'm going to let my knees fall into the center. So a lot of people do Savasana a few different ways. This is kind of like a modified way. I tend to do this a little bit more just because my lower back, as you can kind of see, is kind of hollowed out right there. And so I have to tilt my pelvis so that my back can be flush with the mat. So if I'm just extending my legs, I tend to get that curve, and then that kind of irritates my back. So I don't really like sitting with my legs straight out for too long. I'll do it for a little bit, but not too long. So this is usually my go-to. So again, my feet are wide, my knees are falling in towards the center, and I'm not holding them up. They fall in and hold their own. So then I just switched to butterfly the legs. The bottoms of the feet are together, and then I just let my legs fall out to the side. Palms are still facing up. Arms are relaxed out to the side. And make sure that you're getting some good deep breaths here. We're resting. We're trying to relax everything. We did a lot of work that was over about 30 minutes, so we did pretty good. Now it's just time to relax. And now I'm just transitioning into the more traditional resting pose, which is corpse pose. So the legs are straight out, my arms are out to the side, my palms are facing up. I'm taking some good deep breaths. As I mentioned before, I usually don't tend to sit here too long. So a few more breaths, and then I'm pretty sure I'm going to transition back to my knees being tented, just because that's what's comfortable for me. So again, just do whatever works for you. Whatever feels good, that's what you should stick to. And like I just said, we're starting to transition back to the tented knees, but you do not have to do that. You can stay with your legs stretched out if you want, or you can tent the knees, or you can go back to the butterfly. Again, it's whatever works for you. Starting to put a little movement back into our fingers and back into our toes. I'm going to go ahead and stretch my legs out one more time. And then take my arms out above my head. So this is a good stretch. You want to make sure that you feel it in your tummy. It's almost like somebody's pulling you from both ends. So get that good final stretch. Then bring your arms down and around, hug the knees into the chest one more time. Now from here, you have a couple of ways that you can come back up to seated. I like to crisscross my feet at the ankles and then kind of rock and roll a couple of times and then come up from there. But you can always take the traditional route, which is rolling over onto one side and then using your top arm to press you up and then come into seated. So again, it's just whatever option works best for you. Neither one is wrong. So we're going to come up to seated. I always come into the crisscross position, but if that doesn't work for you, you can stretch your legs out in front. And I'm just going to drop my chin down to my chest, take the head around, 2 big circles in each direction, just kind of stretching at all 4 points. So chin to chest, right ear, right shoulder, left ear, left shoulder, and then all the way back. And then again, making sure I hit all of those points going in the opposite direction. Bring the head back to the center, and then we're going to go into some shoulder rolls. So I like to go a couple of times in each direction, so rolling them back and then rolling them forward. And once we're done there, we're just going to take a small twist to the right side. You want to make sure you're sitting up nice and tall, you're not hunched over. Same thing, opposite direction. So go ahead and do a small twist to the left. Again, making sure we're sitting up nice and tall and not rounded through the back. these are with breaths. So resting the hands down to the side or on my knees, and then I'll take a big inhale, circle the arms all the way up, and a little pause at the top, and then bring the arms back to heart center. And one more breath. So again, relaxing the arms either out to the side or down to my knees, circle the arms all the way up on the inhale, with a nice hold at the top, and then bringing them down to heart center. And with that, you guys, we are finished with our practice for today. That was pretty good, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you guys taking your time out to roll your mats out and share space with me. I invite you guys to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and everything is under I Need Your Body. Thank you so much again. Have a good day. Thank you.